In this video, I will show you my city, La Paz. From its wrestling women to the nearby coca farms and fine dining with local ingredients to the newfound indigenous confidence, come with me on a journey to see La Paz, one of the world's highest capital cities and the place from where I started filing for the Financial Times. The traditional postcard image of the indigenous women of Bolivia, commonly known as cholitas, is one of flouncy skirts, pigtails and bowler hats. After centuries of a very white and male-dominated society, these indigenous women have now gained a degree of power in the Andean country. Carmen Rosa here is an indigenous Bolivian woman who wears a bowler hat and a flouncy skirt, but can also pack a mean half Nelson and jump kick with the best of them. Cuando quieras. She's better known as La Campeona, the champion. She's a wrestling sensation in Bolivia who even traveled to London this year to fight there. Carmen Rosa, please tell the viewers of the Financial Times what prompted an indigenous woman like yourself to start wrestling.
Bueno, yo porque las mujeres indígenas somos muy fuertes, somos de ñeque, como se dice, y no nos dejamos vencer por nada. No solamente la mujer indígena es luchadora encima del ring, sino también fuera del ring, porque día a día lucha con la familia, con los hijos, tratando de sacarlos adelante, tratando de sacar el hogar adelante. Y una mujer indígena, yo represento a esas señoras, a las mujeres indígenas aymaras.
Indeed, besides taking care of their families and having day jobs, the fighting cholitas train a couple of times a week and perform on Sundays either in La Paz or its sprawling satellite city, El Alto. This was one of my favorite pastimes when I lived here. La Paz is the city where Miguel de Cervantes, the father of Don Quixote, wanted to become mayor, but failed. Unlike him, I arrived here not with political ambitions, but journalistic aspirations. I arrived in La Paz not long after Bolivia's indigenous people, for the first time since independence from Spanish rule, voted in bloc for someone from their midst. Evo Morales, a former llama herder and coca farmer, has changed the country, granting sweeping rights and economic independence to his fellow Indians. But cementing his socialist revolution with an indigenous twist has not been without trouble or controversy, which is what brought me to La Paz as a freelancer after graduating from a master's degree at Oxford. The very first story I filed from La Paz, which was also my very first for the Financial Times, was one about violent clashes between opposing camps. But things in this city, my old stomping grounds, have changed a lot since then. And it seems that in today's Bolivia, capitalism is the name of the game. ¿Cuánto es, casera? Muchas gracias. For good luck in business. A gas boom and redistributive policies implemented by Morales lifted many out of poverty in one of Latin America's poorest countries. The economy tripled in size, fueling a consumer boom with new shopping centers. A cable car connecting the city's poorest and richest areas has become a symbol of a buoyant La Paz. The rise of a new middle class has also boosted the number and most of all quality of restaurants. Unlike neighboring Peru, which has pioneered a new Andean cuisine that has attracted a valuable new class of foodie tourists to the country, Bolivia was an outcast. But this has also changed. Klaus Meyer, the chef behind Denmark's Noma, 4 times named the best restaurant in the world, is determined to change that. In the wealthier southern quarters of La Paz, 2 years ago, he opened a $1 million restaurant and cooking school called Gusto. Gusto, which means flavor in the indigenous Quechua language, is also a project in social entrepreneurship. Its mission is not only to create a new Bolivian gastronomy, but also train new chefs and food producers that could then fuel new food-based businesses in one of Latin America's poorest countries. It is run by a very talented Dane chef, Camila Seidler, who moved to La Paz 3 years ago. Camila, why Bolivia? Why La Paz for approaches such as this one?
Bolivia has a lot to offer, both culturally but also gastronomically. It's a country that right now is in the best moment of its life, so to speak. Economy is growing. Everybody is getting a little bite of the cake, so to say. So between a lot of countries and a lot of investigations, Klaus decided that Bolivia was the place to be.
I may now live in Colombia, which is notorious for its coffee, but I still have a penchant for Bolivian beans, which are sourced from a place called Los Yungas, located downhill from the high Andes outside of La Paz. This spot in the Amazon basin is connected with the capital via a sinuous mountain road infamously called the Death Road for the high number of fatal accidents that happened here. Now it has become a popular cycle route for mountain bikers. Coffee here is grown alongside coca, cocaine's raw material, which is a mild stimulant when unprocessed. Bolivia is the world's third largest supplier of cocaine, flowing through Brazil and then onto Europe. The government has said repeatedly it can achieve a Bolivia of zero cocaine, but not zero coca, under a policy that allows small-scale coca leaf cultivation for local use, with growers monitored by their communities. This approach last year led to drops in Bolivia's total coca acreage, said the United Nations. Sabino Mendoza is a coca grower from Los Yungas turned senior anti-narcotics official. Lives here in Los Yungas are poor and harsh and provide few occasions for superlatives, but turn the subject to this small green leaf and those superlatives will come rushing out. And they will say, this is part of our national identity, this leaf is our medicine, our food, an integral part of our history. Sabino, before becoming a government official, an anti-drugs government official, you were a coca grower, you're still a coca grower, your family is still growing coca. What's the meaning of this small leaf for Bolivians like yourself?
Bueno, para nosotros la hoja de coca, digamos, significa nuestra historia, nuestra cultura, nuestra identidad. Y asimismo nuestra hoja de coca nos significa para nosotros nuestra economía, ¿no? Y por eso nosotros estamos acá. Y además, antes yo de ser autoridad, digamos, en el Estado, ser constituyente, yo era dirigente de los productores de hoja de coca y seguimos siendo productores de hoja de coca, donde nosotros no defendemos el narcotráfico, pero sí defendemos la hoja de coca.
Things have been changing in and around La Paz. Negatively, climate change is melting some of the glaciers that cap the mountains that embrace the capital. Positively, in El Alto, its impoverished satellite city, which hosts the airport at 4,000 meters above sea level, the tide is visibly turning. Relatively expensive buildings, constructed by the indigenous bourgeoisie in the glitzy style of the new Andean architecture, are an increasingly patent sign of that change. But now that the commodities boom that sustained Bolivia's economy is easing, things will turn more uphill for the residents of El Alto and La Paz. Although Bolivia has grown faster than my native Argentina, some of my fellow Eurocentric countrymen still tend to look down on it and its capital. To me, when cab reporters ask me for a good place to launch their careers, I always say La Paz, my city, a place that is fascinating and it is now enjoying a growing clout. From La Paz, Bolivia, Andres Schipani for the Financial Times.